Here's something you might not know. About 75 miles north of Dallas, sitting on the Oklahoma-Texas border, there's a casino that claims to be the biggest in the world. Not in Vegas, not in Macau. In Thackerville, Oklahoma, population 400. It's called WinStar, and it's got people asking a question that would have sounded insane 20 years ago. Is a massive tribal casino in Oklahoma a better value than Las Vegas? Let me walk you through the numbers. Because this isn't just about cheap tables and room rates. This is about what Vegas used to be, what it's become, and whether there's anywhere left for the guy who just wants to play some cards without getting fleeced. The first thing you need to understand about Vegas in 2025 is that the Strip doesn't want you anymore. Not unless you're dropping serious cash. Average room rate on the Strip? About $210 a night. That's the baseline. Weekends, big events, conventions. You're looking at more. And that's just the room. Then come the resort fees. Every major casino on the Strip now charges between $45 and $55 per night in mandatory resort fees. You can't opt out. You're paying for the gym you won't use, the Wi-Fi that should be free, and the pool access that's only open 6 months a year. Add it up. You're at about $265 per night before you even think about parking, food, or gambling. Parking used to be free everywhere. Now, most Strip properties charge $15 to $18 a day, unless you're a high-tier player, which, let's be honest, most of us aren't. So you park, you check in, you want to play some blackjack. Good luck finding a table under $15 minimum during the day. At night or on weekends, you're looking at $25 minimum. And here's the kicker. Most of those $15 and $25 tables pay 6 to 5 on blackjack instead of 3 to 2. That's not a minor difference. That single rule change increases the house edge dramatically. A blackjack that used to pay $15 on a $10 bet now pays $12. Over time, over hands, that adds up to real money leaving your pocket. You want a proper 3 to 2 table on the Strip? You're looking at $50 minimums, sometimes $100. At properties like Aria, Bellagio, Wynn, forget it. You're not sitting down for less than $100 a hand unless you catch them at 6 in the morning on a Tuesday in February. This is what Vegas has become. A place where the entry fee to play, the way you used to play 30 years ago, is now triple digits. Downtown is cheaper. You can still find $10 and $15 tables with better rules. But downtown isn't the Strip. And if you're flying in from somewhere, you probably want the full Vegas experience, which now costs you an arm and a leg just to get started. Now let's talk about WinStar. I'll be honest, before I started digging into this, I'd barely heard of it. A casino in Oklahoma? Near Texas? How big could it possibly be? Turns out, massive. WinStar World Casino sits in Thackerville, Oklahoma, right on the border with Texas. It's about an hour's drive north of Dallas-Fort Worth. And according to multiple sources, it's one of the largest casinos in the world by gaming floor space. The numbers are staggering. Nearly 400,000 square feet of gaming floor. That's bigger than most shopping malls. Over 10,000 slot machines, around 100 table games, a 55-table poker room, an 800-seat bingo hall, off-track betting, the works. The casino is divided into 9 different gaming plazas, each themed after a world city: Paris, Rome, Vienna, Beijing, London, Madrid, Cairo, New York, Rio. It's like someone took pieces of the Vegas Strip and jammed them all under one enormous roof. Why haven't you heard about it? Because it's not in Vegas. It's not in Atlantic City. It's in Oklahoma. And unless you live in Texas, Oklahoma, or Arkansas, you probably had no reason to know it existed. But 6 million people visit WinStar every year. 6 million. That's more than some Vegas casinos see. And they're coming because of one simple fact. Texas doesn't allow casino gambling. So Dallas-Fort Worth, a metro area of over 7 million people, drives north into Oklahoma to play. Houston, San Antonio, Austin, they all make the trip. WinStar exists because of geography, and it's thriving because it offers something Vegas has slowly stopped offering: value. Hotel rooms at WinStar range from about $120 to nearly $400 a night, depending on the room type and when you book. The resort has nearly 1,700 rooms spread across 4 towers. Here's where things get interesting. WinStar does charge a resort fee, about $11 per day. Much lower than Vegas, but it exists. And parking appears to be free based on most visitor accounts. Already we're seeing a difference. A standard room at WinStar might run you $150 plus 11 in resort fees. That's $161. A comparable room on the Vegas Strip, once you factor in resort fees and parking, is north of $280. That's more than $120 a night just in fees and surcharges. Over a 3-night weekend, you just saved $360. But here's where it gets interesting and complicated, because WinStar has a dirty little secret that changes the entire equation. Every single table game at WinStar charges a 50-cent ante per hand. Every single hand. You sit down at blackjack, 50 cents before the cards are dealt. Craps. 50 cents per pass line bet. Roulette, poker, doesn't matter. 50 cents per hand or per bet, and it's never waived. Now 50 cents doesn't sound like much until you do the math. Let's say you're playing blackjack at a casual pace. 60 hands per hour. That's $30 in antes every single hour you play. If you play for 4 hours, you've paid $120 in antes. That's on top of whatever you win or lose. It's not a commission, it's not a tip, it's a fee, a per-hand fee, and it goes straight to the house. Why does WinStar do this? Because they can. Oklahoma tribal casinos operate under different regulations than Nevada casinos. They're technically allowed to charge this ante instead of taking a commission on wins or building the house edge into the game structure. Some people say the ante pays for promotions. Others say it's pure profit. What's certain is that it adds up fast. Let's compare this to Vegas. A $15 blackjack table on the Strip doesn't charge an ante. You bet 15, you play the hand. If you win, you get paid. If you lose 15. No hidden fees per hand. The catch? That table probably pays 6 to 5 on blackjack, which increases the house edge by about 1.4%. Over time, that costs you more than you think. So which is worse, the ante or the bad rules? It depends on how much you're betting and how long you play. If you're a low-stakes player betting 10 or 15 bucks a hand, the 50-cent ante is annoying but manageable. If you're betting $100 a hand, the ante is barely noticeable. But here's the thing. At WinStar, blackjack table minimums can start as low as $1. You read that right, $1 blackjack. With the 50-cent ante, you're effectively playing $150 per hand, still cheaper than anything you'll find on the Vegas Strip. Of course, the catch is that many WinStar table games use continuous shuffling machines. The blackjack rules aren't always player-friendly, and that 50-cent ante never goes away, ever. It's a trade-off. Lower minimums, but constant vig. Better room rates, but you're in Oklahoma. More gaming space than almost anywhere on Earth, but it's all under one roof in a town of 400 people. Vegas doesn't nickel and dime you per hand. It just charges you $55 a night to sleep and $25 minimum to sit down. Pick your poison. Let's talk about what else you get. Because gambling is only part of the equation. Vegas is a destination. You fly in from anywhere in the world. You see the Strip lit up at night. You walk into the Bellagio and see the fountains. You eat at restaurants run by celebrity chefs. You catch a Cirque show or a residency. You feel like you're somewhere. WinStar is not that. WinStar is a massive casino resort in rural Oklahoma. The property itself is impressive. 4 hotel towers, 17 restaurants, a 27-hole golf course, a spa, an event center that seats 6,500 people and has hosted everyone from Kelly Clarkson to Lynyrd Skynyrd to Kiss. But you're not in Vegas. You're an hour north of Dallas, surrounded by Oklahoma countryside. The nearest city of any size is Ardmore, population 24,000. This isn't a knock on WinStar. It's just reality. You're not going to WinStar for the nightlife. You're not going for the spectacle. You're going to gamble, maybe catch a show, play some golf, and save money, which is fine, if that's what you're looking for. But Vegas gives you something WinStar can't. It gives you the feeling, the energy, the absurdity, the knowledge that you're in the one place on Earth where everything is designed to let you forget who you are and how much money you have until it's gone. WinStar gives you a massive casino with better room rates and cheaper entry to table games, offset by that damn 50-cent ante and the fact that you're in Thackerville. Vegas gives you the Strip, the history, the lights, the chaos, at prices that have quietly priced out the average guy who made the place famous. So which one wins? Depends what you're after. If you're a low-stakes player who wants to gamble for a few hours without spending a fortune just to walk in the door, WinStar has a real argument. A room for $160, much lower resort fees than Vegas, free parking, $1 blackjack tables or close to it, even with the ante. Let's say you're playing $15 blackjack at WinStar. With the 50-cent ante, you're in for $15.50 per hand. Over 4 hours, you've paid $120 in antes, plus whatever you lose or win from the actual game. Now compare that to Vegas. You're playing $25 minimums, 6 to 5. That rule alone is costing you way more over time than the ante. Plus, you've already paid an extra $120 a night just to stay there. By the time you add it all up, WinStar is cheaper. For the low-stakes grinder who just wants to play cards, eat decent food, and not get destroyed by fees, Oklahoma starts to make sense. But, and this is a big but, WinStar is not a destination. If you're flying in from California, from the East Coast, from Europe, you're not flying to WinStar. You're flying to Vegas, because Vegas is the experience, the name, the myth. WinStar is for the regional player, the Dallas local, the weekend warrior from Houston who wants to blow off steam without blowing his mortgage payment. It's for the guy who used to drive to Shreveport or Tunica and realized there's a bigger option just up the road. Vegas is for everyone else, or at least it used to be. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Vegas has spent the last 15 years chasing high rollers and convention money. Resort fees increased. Table minimums, worse game rules, higher drink prices. All of it designed to squeeze more revenue from fewer customers. It's working for the casinos. MGM and Caesars are posting record profits. But it's not working for the guy who remembers when you could get a 59-cent shrimp cocktail and a $5 blackjack table at 4 in the afternoon. That guy is gone from Vegas, priced out, replaced by someone willing to pay $300 a night and drop $100 per hand at 6 to 5 blackjack because they're in town for a conference and it's not their money anyway. And that's fine. Vegas can be whatever it wants to be, but it's not what it used to be. It's not the everyman's playground anymore. It's a premium product with premium prices. WinStar, ironically in the middle of nowhere, is closer to what Vegas used to be. Cheaper rooms, low minimums, open 24/7. Come gamble, have some fun. Don't spend your kid's college fund just to get through the front door. But you're in Oklahoma, and there's no fountain show at WinStar, no Fremont Street, no neon chapel where you can drunkenly marry someone you just met. It's just a really big casino that happens to be cheaper. So here's my take. If you live in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, or Louisiana, and you want a casino weekend without flying to Vegas and paying strip prices, WinStar absolutely makes sense. You're saving significant money on rooms, parking, and entry-level gambling. The ante is annoying, but it's manageable. You're not getting the Vegas experience, but you're also not paying Vegas prices. If you're flying in from anywhere else, you're probably still going to Vegas because you're not traveling to Oklahoma for a casino. You're traveling to Vegas for everything Vegas represents, even if it costs you double, even if the tables are brutal, because it's Vegas. But here's the thing. The fact that we're even having this conversation, comparing a tribal casino in Oklahoma to the most famous gambling destination on earth, tells you everything you need to know about what's happened to Vegas. 20 years ago, this would have been a joke. Vegas was the gold standard. Cheap rooms, low minimums, free parking, free drinks. You could bring a couple $100 and have a great time for a weekend. Now, Vegas is for people with real money, or corporate credit cards, or a gambling problem they can't afford. The average guy got pushed out, and places like WinStar, massive, impersonal, but affordable, are picking up the pieces. Vegas didn't lose its soul to Oklahoma. It priced itself out of reach. And now the question isn't, why would anyone go to WinStar instead of Vegas? It's why would anyone go to Vegas when they can save $500 in Oklahoma? That's not the question anyone wanted to ask, but it's the question we're asking now. Which would I pick? If I'm flying in, if I've got the money, if I want the full experience, I'm going to Vegas. Because it's still Vegas. The lights, the history, the absurdity. You can't get that anywhere else. But if I'm a couple hours from Thackerville, If I want a weekend of cards without selling a kidney, if I just want to play and not get buried in fees, WinStar makes perfect sense. And maybe that's the real story here. Vegas isn't for everyone anymore. It doesn't pretend to be. The Strip wants whales and conventioneers. If you're not one of those, you're window dressing. WinStar wants your business. Even if you're betting $5 a hand, even if you're not staying in the high roller tower, they'll take your 50-cent ante and let you play all day. Is that better? I don't know, but it's something. And in 2025, when Vegas charges you $200 just to park and sleep, something starts to look pretty good. If you remember when Vegas had class, when it was built for everyone and not just the top 10%, tell me your story in the comments. And if you want more truth about how Vegas really changed, hit subscribe, because we're not done talking about what happened to the city that used to welcome everyone before it decided some of us weren't worth the trouble anymore.